guys. This is Sinful and it's Boxing Day. Yes, the work never stops. This is about the third time I'll be trying to record this because I seem to keep having problems of all different descriptions. But today I wanted to introduce you to the McSkin3D program by Parallel, who I think is an absolute genius. Anyway, so usually when we start a program, what I'd suggest you do is start with the menu up here. So in File, of course, you have the Save and the Save As, Save All. Upload skin I wouldn't suggest using unless you want it to actually be your personal Minecraft skin, because what it does, I believe, is uploads it to the Minecraft.net site as your personal skin for servers and whatever, everything. And last you have Exit. Under Edit you have Undo and Redo, which have the shortcuts of Control Z and Control Y. You can make them have other shortcuts if you want to. It's available under the options. I'll show you that in a minute. And you've got the tools here, which are the same ones over there, so I'll explain to you about those in a minute, but it also shows the shortcut letters here. Under View you have View Modes. So you've got three view modes in McSkin. You have the Perspective 3D, which is what we're viewing now. You have the Texture 2D, which is what you'd be used to in most skinning programs, or just opening up the ping file. And you have the hybrid version, which shows you both at the same time. Okay, under 3D settings, you have Animate, which makes the skin walk. You have Follow Cursor, which makes it follow your cursor around if you're checking angles and etc. You also have Grass, which removes the grass, and you can also change the background if you want it to be black with no grass or something like that. Ghosting, hidden parts, and multi-sampling I would have honestly no idea about, so you'd have to figure those out yourself, unfortunately. Okay, I'll just stop him following the cursor and animating. And under 2D settings we have the alpha checkerboard and the overlay. So again, I mostly only use the 3D perspective, so I'm not too sure about 2D settings. Transparency mode, you always want it on all unless you're more advanced and experienced. I'll show you a reason why over here. If we go down to Biker Steve here and I go back to 3D view, if you turn it around here, you can see what I've done as a mistake is the transparency. I think when you download the program and start it on default, it has helmet only. I think that's why I originally did it, because this was one of my first few skins, and it's just an alteration, obviously. But yes, it'll just look black to you if you do just helmet, so make sure under the transparency mode here you have it all so you can see where you do mistakes like that. Visible parts, this is the same thing that's over here. It also gives you shortcuts, shows you the shortcuts for those. Again, you can change the shortcuts if need be. So this is just if you want to work on the head, but I'll get more to that in a second from the other menu there. Okay, so under options we have keyboard shortcuts. So you can change all the shortcuts here. So what you usually do is you click on any of them, you click in the text box, and you can change it to whatever you like. You just press, so you, as you see here, click in the text box below, hit the assign key. So I just click there, hit whatever letter on the keyboard, okay, done. Background color, this is where you can change the background color if you want a pink background or black or whatever you want. So choose the color, you can choose the light and darkness, everything there, you've got the whole options. So I don't want to do that. Anyway, you've also got other languages here, which is good because Minecraft Forum, which is the main site this is the McSkin3D program is advertised on, tends to be an international forum really. So you have a lot of people that actually come from the German Minecraft forums and they come elsewhere, and they can choose a language here that's more suited to them. So there's everything in the Spanish, French. I have no idea what that is. Netherlands, Netherlands, have you seen it? Sorry for anyone I'm offending there. So you've got multiple options there for language, which is good, so people can actually do it in their native language but still upload it to somewhere like Planet Minecraft and blah blah. So under help for the moment, all you have is check for updates and automatically check for updates. Okay, so let's get to the other menu bar here. So the zoom in and out is primarily for this side bit here, so it just zooms you in and out of that area there. This is to import a skin, so if you've downloaded a skin from another site, or you're altering someone else's skin, or for whatever reason, then you can import the skin from here. This is especially helpful when you save a skin and it, for some reason or another, it's not available in your little left hand area here, so you can actually bring it back in to replay around with it or do whatever. This over here is a new skin. Sometimes these little things that are just below the pointer, the little pop-up menus, work sometimes. I've noticed they sort of flicker away. I don't know about that. It seems to be working fine now. Before it wasn't actually coming up, and before that was only coming up for a millisecond. But anyway, obviously it's a new program. It still has a few bugs. If you notice any bugs, go to the forum and type it in so Parallel can have a look at it and see whether it is a bug or it's something with your computer or whatever, so he knows what's going on, because obviously if no one tells, it's a very community based program, and if no one says anything that's wrong, then he's not going to know. So if you press the new skin here, then you obviously get a new completely white skin. You can name it whatever you want and blah blah blah. If you go over here, then that adds a new folder. So see, I've added a little folder here called Sinful Skins, which is all my skins in there, so I can separate it from the program. These ones are out of the folders. These, I don't know what I did with that. This is to rename, so you press this here so you can rename it whatever. There you go. Brilliant skin, what do you think? Perfect. Anyway, this is so you can delete them. And this is so you can make a copy. So whatever skin you've currently got on here, like Sinful, you can make a copy of it if you want to alter the skin a bit, but you still want to keep the original or what have you, or you don't want to accidentally save it over the top of that skin. These things here for increasing and decreasing resolution, I wouldn't recommend using that unless you are an advanced skinner or making some sort of texture pack. It's more in there for future updates and everything, where he's actually going to add models for block support and other support and everything. If you actually increase the resolution and then you try and upload it to Minecraft.net, it's not going to accept it, because the Minecraft.net accepts the default resolution only. Although on that only bit, I'm a bit unsure. I suppose you could decrease the resolution, which is what I did here. If you look at the face, it goes from that, and I decreased it once and it goes to that. So I'm not sure whether decreased resolutions are accepted, but unless, as I said, unless you're an advanced skinner or you're using texture packs or having a play around or whatever, I wouldn't suggest playing around with that area there. So this one is, that's the uploads, the same thing that was in the other section there. So you just type in username, password, or upload it to your account. This one is fetched from Minecraft.net, so that's what I've actually done there as the start of it. So if you type in the player's name, like there's my name, and you press OK, it brings a copy of your skin in there. So I've got multiple copies, so I'll just delete all these ones so you can actually see what happens here. So there we go. Okay, so if we press that, Perch Minecraft, and I type in that name, it'll import that skin into you. So it's, a lot of people have been using stuff like miners need cool shoes. You don't need to use that just to import for the specific reason for importing the skin. You can use this thing and you can type in any player's name and get that person's skin. And sometimes that happens. I don't know why. I think that might be my internet connection more than anything to do with the program. I did have Digsy's skin a little while ago, but I sort of just deleted it then. Anyway, Digsy still hasn't changed his skin from the Grinch skin. I think he's rather enamored with it. Anyway, so these are the shortcuts over here for save and save all. You've got undo and redo there, which again, you've still got the shortcuts, the Control Y and the Control Z. This is the camera view that we're currently on. So if you left click and hold, and you go left, right, up, down, so it sort of changes the angle. If you right click and hold, then if you move it back and forward, then that's moving you in and out, zooming you closer and further away. What you have to make sure of, if you're in pencil mode and you actually do the left and hold, you're gonna put a splatter of your pencil across there. That happens to me every now and again. If you want to change the angle, remember to right click when you're on this mode. So in pencil mode, left click is actually drawing. Right click is turning the angle in the camera mode, left click is turning the angle, right click is zooming it in and out. Okay, the eraser, I wouldn't recommend using it unless you're using it on the helmet. The helmet is naturally meant to be transparent unless you have something on there, like I have the horns. So erasing those is fine, but you don't want to erase something, say, from the head here, because you're just going to... with transparency, I believe is viewable on single player mode. But it won't be viewable on server mode. You'll just get black wherever there's transparency. So you possibly could have a skin like that in single player, but none of your friends would see it because you'd have to go into server mode, which would make it black. So try not to use the eraser except when you're in helmet mode. The dropper, as per all programs, the dropper just grabs whatever you're clicking on. So if I click on that, then I've got a bit of pink skin and I can automatically put it back there. But remember that's going on the helmet because I have the helmet one on. So see, it actually takes over the horn bit there. So if I take the helmet off, then whoops, yeah, see, I've sort of erased the face. So the erasure is still going to be there. So you have to remember that the helmet has to be off for you to actually do anything with the face. Otherwise, you're always doing something with the helmet, as the helmet is a box outside of the head. So yes, the dropper tool, just grab whatever color you do, then you can go back to pencil or what have you and choose your thing there. Also in pencils you have brush size. Obviously one's going to be 1 square, 2 is going to be a 2 by 2 square, and then 8, did I just press 8? I think I pressed 9 then. Anyway, 8 is going to be an 8 by 8 square, so there's her head back. Where are we up to now? Okay, dodge and burn. So dodge and burn and light and darken are similar. You'll have to have a play around with them to see the difference. I can't really explain it. There is a difference between them. But think of dodge as like a lighten and burn as a darken. With your exposure, that's obviously going to be no exposure. It's not going to show anything. It's going to be small, and that's going to be a humongous amount of exposure that's going to lighten everything up enormously.